on the road.
So when I was at St. Mount Scopus, when I left 20 years ago, media from Israel was about, I know, getting some old Yediot Achronot from 2 weeks ago, or reading Lamatchil or something in a Hebrew class.
There's a war on the ground, and there's a war going on in the media. And very often it feels like that's a war that we're losing.
Why should they have a connection with Israel? And we gave them various answers. And I think that was a very good microcosm of what I think is our approach in Mount Scopus, and I think should be our approach, is to give our students the ability to make an informed choice.
I want us to learn together, and I'm excited to learn from you. So I want to see what those control myths, if we let go of them, what would happen.
But we take off our shoes metaphorically. So what I'm asking you to do basically is to leave aside, or to put aside, everything that you think you know about the specific text that we're going to use.
Emphasis in the Israeli show is totally about how does a family cope with the return of captured soldiers.
And the one thing about visible thinking is, what's very good about them is they're very visible. You know, they actually want everyone to be involved in the process, so the stuff is really out there and it's quite easy.
Absolutely. Israel exists because of the Shoah. That's the implication of what he said here. And that feeds into this cliche, this notion, this idea, which I would like to contest a little bit.
The children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them.
What is Jewish identity? When we say we are striving to give our students Jewish identity, when we say, as we do in this school, that a mark of our success is that our students should leave our school with their Jewish identity in heart, what do we mean by that?
I think that those of us who are deeply engaged in Jewish education, maybe part of our attraction to it is that we're in love with that complexity. Maybe some of our young people that we don't succeed with are young people who become fatigued with that complexity.
It's amazing to see in the audience an ecosystem of teachers, of shlichim, of Machon graduates, of youth movement participants. It's quite rare to see an ecosystem that works in that way in the Jewish world. And I think that's a remarkable achievement for the Australian Jewish community, so kol hakavod.
We always had, I think, students who tended to be very book-centered and, for whatever reason, I think identified more with the left than the right. But about a decade ago, we began to see a sea change. It was no longer the question of the settlements, but rather there was a growing minority, and I'll stress a minority, that was uncomfortable with the idea of a Jewish state.
I fully agree that there is a tremendous need for peoplehood education in Israel.
I think the most important thing is that the schools see that the Zionist Federation is putting something together that they can get the benefit of.
Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they picked, the one you know by. you ever ask them why? If they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh.